For daily Ask Reddit. r/ask Reddit. What are gonna be the real consequences of COVID, like in 20 years? If you like the video, drop a like and subscribe so you never miss a video. 20-year-olds rolling their eyes when their parents talk about COVID-19. Yeah, I think it will be something like this. Back in my days, I was at home for 50 days, so I think you can stay in your room for an hour. 50? I'm on day 72 with no end in sight. Here in Spain I don't know anymore. I stopped counting. At home since the 13th of March. I wonder how colleges/universities will be impacted. My college moved all its classes for the next 3 semesters online, and the first question that was asked was, will you be reducing tuition? I think if they don't, a lot of people won't be able to go to college or finish out their degrees. I'm a lecturer and I think it's really fascinating. On the one hand, students like to have a campus to meet their peers, to meet romantic partners, a quiet library, nice green space. They like face-to-face labs, even lectures, etc. The younger the students are, in general, the worse they seem to be doing with a totally online learning process, as they are not as good at self-direction as a 30-year-old doing their Master of Science, for example. On the other hand, it could make college much cheaper. My worry is that more jobs might be pushed abroad to cheaper countries when employers realize jobs can be done remotely. It has been able to be remote for some time. However, culture and time zone differences have caused projects to suffer. I'm a software dev, and our company is looking to move all devs to go remote. However, we are not sending development overseas, as that has proven time and time again to cause problems. The question is, do my wife and I move now? More jobs will become remote as employers realize it's more efficient and cheaper. Offices cost money. People cost more money than offices. Once everything is remote, the companies will hire the cheapest workers in other countries. This commuting is a waste of time and energy, and it's horrible for health and the environment. Corporate offices are gloomy disease pits where no one wants to be, only matched in unpleasantness by the waiting areas of airports and the DMV. And yet, if these things go away permanently, the situation for the American worker barring a basic income becomes infinitely worse, because any job that can be done from home can also be done from a country where workers have even less in the way of rights than they do here. The winning play is to get a job where you're on site some of the time, say 1 day per week, but can work from home whenever you want, and gradually increase your WFH days. Kids who are just starting school this year will have a completely different experience for the rest of the school life. I think there have been studies about the first few foundation years of school being a clear predictor for the rest of your learning life. No idea what will be different, just that these kids are not going to be like any other cohort of students. I'm hoping it'll lead towards good time management skills and good familiarity with technology. The latter is obvious, but I think there might be some merit in learning when to goof off and when to make sure you get things turned in on time and mostly correct, so you can continue goofing off. I'm wondering if more people will move to the burbs. I've always loved my neighborhood in spite of having very little space and a tiny yard, but lately I wished that we lived somewhere with a bigger yard, with trees, a driveway with a basketball hoop, room for home offices, etc. Especially if telecommuting becomes more common, or if kids can't go back to school in the fall. I wouldn't mind the burbs if we actually had good public transportation in more than a handful of cities here in America. It's ridiculous that if you don't have a car/unable to drive, you're almost in a lot of places. People will say just use the bus. Even the bus near me is horrible. Takes 1.5 hours to get a 10-minute car ride/45-minute walk. And there's no subway/metro/rail system in this city. And I'm right on the edge of the city. City's too expensive. Burbs have too bad public transportation. I think America needs to heavily invest in their transportation across America. Even just reinvest nationally in the rail system would be a huge step. I work on a covered ICU as a nurse. When our patients get discharged from the ICU, many of them will have lasting, if not permanent, conditions from this disease. It's really too early to tell how many survivors will have disabilities and how many will recover 100%. Simply being laid out on a ventilator for 20 to 30 days takes a while to recoup from. Should one suffer strokes, renal damage or impaired lung function, those conditions can follow them for the rest of their possibly shortened lifespan. Having a large number of people suddenly disabled and without employment, tied health insurance in falling economy is going to perhaps be a problem.